a good time in this game, I feel. He's gonna have a lot of utility turning those spells against IG. I'm not too sure again where the Lone Druid fits into this, and I actually feel like IG's team fight is so much stronger. 5v5, Overgrowth, Supernova, RP, Omni Slash, and the boat coming out for IG. It's really potent. They have to maximize those cooldowns. Once all of them are leveled 6, else off cooldown, they have to force a team fight. That's really the way they bank off of this, whereas LGD, they want to have Chalice hit that level 6 fast. Once he has that track, he has to be active around the map, trying to find pickoffs. On the supports, probably just feeding off that bounty gold with the Slark, with Slark around him. So they both get rich fast and kind of try to counteract that team fight play. I think in the 5v5, LGD cannot afford to go against IG. Just straight up, even levels, even farm. IG's lineup is just so much scarier in a 5v5 night.
It's still going to be hell of a... Like, the one thing you have to worry about, and I agree with you, the team fight from IG is insane, but FY is in the game. We had a bit of a... Twitter was having a bit of a go yesterday. We were praising FY Rubik, and they said, well, what about Yapsor? I agree, but he wasn't in the game we were watching, so we can't comment on Yapsor's Rubik, which is fantastic, by the way. Pretty damn godly. But FY, on the Rubik, whenever the team fights IG's way, because you're always going to be worried about him stealing the egg, or the RP, or the boat, or the overgrowth, or the Omni Slash. So every hero's ultimate is fantastic for FY to steal.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of value in this game. Once he hits that 6, nearly every single spell he can steal is going to be useful.
Chalice, he already steals a bit of gold from Doodle. He does go to level 1 Janata. He's just going to be really annoying. I'm going to love watching this. It's going to be hilarious.
Oh,
no, you're gold! 12 gold, boys. So much value. Chalice will run out. FY does not manage to get that boundary, but it will be free the way going into LGD, unless Doodle can get it, but he will let it go. That'll be a nice start for LGD. I mean, if you count the 24 gold that Chalice just stole, John, it's just so much value.
A lot of value coming out for them. Again, this time they get to start with 3 bounty runes, helps them out in their start, helps out their mid lane matchup of the LD against Kunkka, which it's going to be interesting to watch. This is not a mid matchup we've seen at all, I want to say. I don't think we've seen the mid LD in a while, and we have not seen it against the Kunkka ourselves, so should be an interesting matchup down mid.
Whoops, I just realized, my apologies, I realized to remove the draft. Yeah, draft overlay. Sorry about that, guys. That's the 3rd time it's happened in the last 2 days. Anyway, moving on. I'm just going to ignore that happen. Chat's probably going to lose it once they see it. My apologies. Doodle. Losing a lot of HP in this safe lane. Mid lane, we do see the bear up against Emo on that Kunkka. I believe, John, this would surely favor the Lone Druid. Right.
I think over time, you would be able to apply that much more harass just because of the bear. Again, it does a lot of work once you get a couple of points in it. Pretty good damage coming out. Kunkka can do a lot of damage again with his cleave, but the cleave mechanics have changed. So I think the harass he can pump out with Tidebringer is much less than it was before.
Last struggling somewhat up against Arme right now. That is a Slark. Rather hard in this patch to go up against this man. Dogfight. Making the chase onto our bounty hunter, Chalice. Sitting pretty happy in the lane. He is out of regen though. We'll have to be wary of that. There, he is keeping up with Doodle on that Juggernaut, so currently an even trade of CS for the Jug and the Bounty Hunter. Dogfight may actually lose his life. He gets lifted up and he gets taken out. Bit of overconfidence coming out of him, and FY just says thank you very much, and Chalice just steals a bit more gold off.
It's almost like a mugging, isn't it, Mike? You hold the guy in place, he takes your money and kills you. That's not very nice of Chalice, but you know, it's very... It is the power of Bounty Hunter now, right? He can snowball that much earlier. He should get a decent timing on that bottle for sustain. And once that's up, you know, he's just going to be able to harass out with Shuriken Toss as he pleases.
Of course, we have to keep in mind as well, Doodle, even if he has a bad start to the laning phase, like, he's always going to have that Magnus to help him out with the Empower to catch up. Mind you, you are still up against Slark and an LD. And in fact, speaking of Slark, Arme is going on to last right now. We'll let it go for the moment that that Frost Shield. A lot of damage though, Arme copping a lot of damage himself right now. That shot, they're pulling him back slightly, but won't be enough. Arme will be perfectly fine. He'll salve up through all this. Straight back to the lane. Then we do have that third ability. I don't remember the name of it, but last may just end up dying right now. Like, one more hit from Arme would do the job. The Dark Pact, I don't... Oh, it will actually reach... In fact, no, it was the Frost Shield that got the damage. So they will find that pick off as well. And the ability I was talking about was Sinister Gaze, forcing you to pretty much walk towards the Lich. It's almost like a Fiend's Grip, I guess, just not as good.
Yeah, it does function almost in that way. You know, in a weird way, it's just really good crowd control again. They've reworked Lich to really have a lot of crowd control in him for that laning phase, whereas before he was just really a lane bully in terms of causing an XP disparity.
Well, he will be able to get... In fact, he won't be able to get some revenge. X-Nova gets denied by the creeps, and now Arme will be able to find his life. Very unfortunate for Ollie, but couldn't quite find the last right click that he needed. Meanwhile, top lane looks like dogfights again on this tree, and he's really struggling. And now Chalice comes in, still some gold, and Doodle, he doesn't really have any regen left. And dogfights as well. Well, use the living armor and salve on himself. Doodle probably gonna have to get a level 1 healing ward at this stage, otherwise he's gonna have to carry out some regen. Otherwise, I don't see him last too much longer in this safe lane. Bot lane, they have engaged again onto X-Nova. Arme as well will make the run out. X-Nova will die. The Fire Spirits do connect. One more, though Arme does make it to the shrine. Unfortunately, they're only level 2 Fire Spirits, and the damage isn't high enough. Meanwhile, top lane Doodle may end up falling, and he does. Chalice finds another one. Now dogfights, though, will be chased down as well. Chalice wears that Janata strike in a couple seconds. Dogfights does a bit more gold just before he dies. Chalice with a double kill. Doodle comes in, try and help out, but John, this poor bounty hunter, currently working out very well for the side of LGD.
I mean, it's just really painful to watch dogfights on the Screen Protector. We're at 5 minutes in, he is nowhere near his boots, Mike. Not even close for any wards. He's at 26 gold, and every time he goes in that lane, Chalice just looks out to get a right click on him, steal that gold. It really just slows down the early game for any sort of hero that doesn't really farm. And in this case, that would be the Screen Protector.
Ollie have an engagement. Chalice top lane probably will end up losing his own life. In fact, no, he won't. He fairy fires up and he bottles and he will make it out. Very nice play from him. Looked like it was inevitable that he was going to die there, but does manage to get away. So bot lane Arme going after last. Again, that Frost Shield slowing him down last, so he can't really run away safely. And now the Dark Pact as well. Fire Spirits make it harder for Arme, though he will have a pounce in about 5 seconds. Dark Pact again coming out. Icarus Dive will get Ollie out of there safely. 5-1 still, and IG. I mean, sure, they're going to be better in the mid game, right? They're going to have that team fight, but if you're going to lose the lanes this badly, LGD, they're probably going to take over in the mid game anyway.
Yeah, it's a really rough start for IG. They're not quite getting the XP lead they want. They're definitely not getting gold lead anytime soon. They really need to hit that level 6 fast.
Doodle's about to die as well. They won't continue the chase, but they pretty much take down all his HP. Arme, meanwhile, gets Ollie at the bot lane. So he will find that Phoenix, and that is kills for him on the scoreboard now. Doodle, he was forced to use that healing ward up at top. Mind you, it is a long cooldown, so he buys himself tangos actually, so he'll be fine. Be able to regen up slowly. Gotta say though, Screen Protector, I don't see the value in this pick anymore.
Yeah, definitely not. He's just basically giving gold away to Bounty Hunter. It's a free gold sink for BH to just reach into, get some more gold for himself, and just laugh at dogfights. Basically, he's just robbing the bank here, and no one's stopping him.
Nope, no, they are not. And in fact, we'll have a look at the net worth. So Jug is pretty darn low. He's about to hit 2k net worth. If you look at that, is a massive dip. Look at that, 3.5k net worth for Chalice, 2k for Doodle. In fact, he hasn't hit 2k yet because he keeps getting his gold stolen. Mid lane though, Emo did end up finding FY. He may lose his 10 life. In fact, a very lucky root coming out. He was going for the TP and he got rooted in one hit. Very unfortunate indeed.
Power of the bear mic just keeps you in place. It was a pretty nice kill on FY. They did expend a boat for that, but you know, giving a kill away FY for the Kunkka to your LB is a really good trade. And now Somnus can just chip away.
Going up to Chalice top lane, this will be a pick-off. Ends up fall. Ollie, he was there with the dust just in case. Of course, it did come in handy. Nova though, making his way up. Can he actually snipe Ollie? He was going for it, but he didn't quite make it there. The dogfight is maybe able to set up the kill here. Nova, that frost shield up. Like he'll slowly be able to walk his way out. Meanwhile, bot lane though last. Going to be chased down. Arme, he really wants this pick off. Why is there as well? He has the lift available. The TP is there. FY, does he see him? No, he does not. He won't be able to cancel it off. Still, I mean, you're not allowing this Max to farm at all. He's going to get a very late blink at this stage. I still think you're going to be very happy about this if you're on the side of LGD.
You're definitely very happy. Again, IG depends on this sort of level 6 snowball. Once they all have their level 6, they're going to force team fights. Not quite there yet. Magnus just about hit 6. Same with Jog. Phoenix very far away. About a full level away from that level 6. You're not going to have that supernova up anytime soon. So is the Treant. Whereas LGD is looking a bit healthier in terms of those levels. Lone Druid's already 8, Slark is level 8, Lich is level 4.
Top lane, they have had a go at Chalice, though Dogfight is already falling very low. Nice torrent both though from Emo. Chalice still making the chase onto this Treant. Shadow Walk not be successful. He was under protection with that dust. Ollie now chasing Nova. Won't find that pick off, but still they get a very important kill in Chalice. With that now, 7-4, although that net worth lead is still 5k the way of LGD. So, although the kills are pretty close, the net worth not so much. And Arne though, he can't really afford to die right now. He would dive a tier 1 tower with that Shadow Dance. Well, he gets juked out, and now Dogfight trying to find a kill back their way. Arme, he will get right clicked by the tower. FY has the shockwave. It won't reach, I don't think, but he's going for it. FY. Oh, Shockwave does end up connecting, but he stopped moving forward. He may have been able to connect that Fade Bolt had he kept going, but I suppose I wouldn't have expected either. Emo, boat comes in just to make sure his life is okay. FY doesn't probably know he's being stalked by a tree right now. Nice lift comes out. The lead sheet is there, though. Does he actually make it out of this one? The X is there. FY should just be dead, and I think he just accepts it. Just stand there and let it happen. So with that, you look at Somnus mid lane, he does manage to take down the mid tier 1 tower. A lot of value in taking down that mid tier 1, and IG, they're still on the back foot, but they're catching up slowly.
Yeah, they're evening out the kill board right now. LGD has not really managed to maximize that track gold just yet. Chalice is pretty happy just farming up for now, probably working on one sort of stat value item before he starts roaming. Which is fair enough. You do want to start getting those bounty kills fairly soon, I think. Within the next 2 to 3 minutes, you want your bounty hunter to be walking around, tracking people up, and hopefully finding a couple of pickoffs to really start snowballing.
They're chasing Armade right now at the bot lane, but does just manage to get himself out of there. There's a shrine if he really wants it, but he doesn't need to. That passive HP regen will just get him there. And meanwhile, top tier 1 tower does end up falling. Of course, we can't forget Lone Druid. He does push very, very quickly with that bear, and well, he gets the job done. Mind you, John, look at this build from Somnus. He actually looks like he's not going for any kind of itemization on the bear. Rather, he is going to itemize on himself with that Maelstrom and those Rage Bands for him.
Yeah, just going for those value items again, just trying to get early build-up and just snowball from a very good start. I think that is usually how most games go.
Chalice breaks the smoke. May lose his life for this, but it's probably worthwhile in saving his lone druid. Will end up falling. Dogfight still making the chase onto the lone druid, but Somnus should be alright. X-Nova is there. Well, they've stuck around for a bit though. Dogfight has been stalking them. Now Ollie's frozen down the edge as well. They're going to try and burst it down, but the overgrowth comes in time with the torrent as well. They've chained everything perfectly on the side of IG. Somehow Somnus still alive throughout all this, but he will finally end up falling. And LGD getting a bit greedy there for that neutral camp, and they lose 3 heroes.
Yeah, that's what you have to watch out for from IG. They do have their ultimates up now. And again, once those ultimates are up, IG is very strong. You have to watch out for any sort of team fight with more than 2 heroes each side.
Down at FY mid lane. Look at the lift. He does still the fire spirits, but he is almost certainly dead. Torrent will connect, and Chalice, he actually came in from the back lines just to throw a track out there, but Ollie wanted to make the chase, has no dust available. It is only a level 1 Shadow Wolf though, so it doesn't last so long, but he will manage to juke his way out of this. Or will he? Looks like he wants to steal some gold from Evo, and he will get started. Now Arme is there. The boat comes in to try and help out, as well as the torrent. It's a lot of damage coming out onto LGD, but Chalice is still making the chase. The armor toggle coming out onto Emo. Dogfights, meanwhile, getting chased down by Arme. Looks like Emo will be alright. Doodle coming in from the back lines as well. So the Phoenix, not going to be so lucky. He gets speared up, and he will end up falling. And the Jug won't even bother. He was coming in from behind with that Omni Slash, but he just really never made it in time and just lets it go. And meanwhile, bot lane now, Arme gonna find last. Seemingly was gonna throw out an RP, try and protect himself. Emo will be there, they will get started again. The Omni is available, no Shadow Dance available, or no matter anyway. He does wand up in Shadow Dance though, and now Doodle gonna be chased down. FY stole the spin as well, and Doodle's gonna cop a lot of damage because of this. They even take down the healing ward, although they still want to fight on the side of RT. Arme as well says, thank you very much, we'll take your life for that. Emo still going after Arme, the overgrowth is there, they will finally find him. The X as well, taking everyone down. Chalice, he should end up falling as well as that FY goes down, and IG are looking great in this team fight. They'll take 4 down for the price of 1, and IG, I mean, we talked about how great the team fight is. They pulled it off fantastically that time.
Definitely so. Again, you have to be really careful in committing that long for a couple of heroes. And you were fighting without your lone druid, who does take a tier 2, but he is a lot of damage as well. You know, you depend on the Slark's right clicks. I feel like you do want some of the control that the lone druid brings as well. When you're taking these team fights, without him, it's just kind of harder.
Speaking of the druid, he'll get started on the Magnus. Well, he finally gets the root out. Shockwave was pretty handy as well for that dogfight. Also get taken out, and again, looks like you don't have overgrowth, you can't really help as his hero. Now Ollie as well gets caught out by Arme. X-Moment's there as well. That with the gaze, he doesn't do anything to get himself out of there. So it's like, yeah, you're the king of team fights with your draft. We're the king of solo pickoffs.
Yeah, and they just gave away all those kills. At least 2 of those kills were track kills as well. So it really accelerates the progression for LGD onto their items. It's a good amount of gold going to your LD, who does have 3 Wraith Bands now, along with the Yasha, so a lot of agi on this guy, right-clicking fairly strong. Looks like the emphasis is on the Druid this time, not the Bear.
IG trying to defend that tower. It is up on Arme. So fights. Chalice, last is there as well. The RP is available if he wants to. So that gaze again coming in handy. X over though, he cops the RP with Army, but the Dark Pact was already in place. Now the Chain Frost as well. Last, he should just end up falling, and he will. Dogfight trying to make a run for it. That Chain Frost did so much damage, and somehow Chalice is still alive throughout all that. He does end up finally falling, and now X Nova gonna be followed up. Although is he? The Bear is there waiting. Noodle is going to be the target. Arme's found him. Pounce is available once that spin ends. In fact, no, they won't even go for it. I suppose diving under tier 3s and 17 minutes in is probably not a very smart idea. They will back off and go after that tier 2 1-for-1 trade. In fact, it was no, it wasn't. They're gonna lose their tier 2 tower side of IG, so it certainly doesn't suit them. Team fight. We get a bear out of that. Boat now as well. This is not gonna be good if the bear has no respawn. They are gonna spin on him. Somnus trying to make a run for an Arme, meanwhile gets Ollie. Now the Omni is on the bear. That is not the target you wanted to go for. FY, he stole the Omni. Walloped the boat before, and he'll go into Doodle, but he attacks so damn slow. The torrent will not end up connecting. Now Chalice is going to be rooted in place. The spin is there as well, and Chalice should just be dead throughout all this. He steals a bit of gold, but he will end up dying. Luckily for LGD, however, they don't lose the bear on Somnus. He almost lost it by losing his own life, but still, they give a lot of hero lives away. That is not great news for them anyway.
Yeah, not the best team fight for LGD. It looked pretty good when FY stole his 2 ultimates, but the follow-up just wasn't there. It was a bit too segmented. And again, IG did have a couple of their ultimates off cooldown. So you do have to be a bit careful when even just the boat is scary enough. Like if Emo lands a good boat out, it's very hard to play up against.
Bites goes in, overgrowth is actually available. Boat as well will connect on the Lich and X-Nova. He isn't down yet. The Frost Shield again coming in handy. Now Last ends up falling at Arme. He'll come in and take down Dogfights, and X-Nova survives it. In fact, no, he doesn't. The urn was there. But you've got to think to yourself, like, that's a position 5 Lich, and it takes that long to kill him off. And eventually you get him, luckily, because you had some urn charges going, but that is not very, that's pretty demoralizing here on the side of IG.
It definitely is. I mean, that's a lot of damage reduction coming out from that Frost Shield might. 60% is pretty darn big. That definitely kept him alive for a bit too long, let him cast out the chain, and just do way too much damage in that last fight. I mean, you know, he got to do a lot more than he should have in that last fight.
Last as well, you look at this Magnus, he's had a terrible time in the game. He's sitting at 4.3k net worth right now. Got a Blink Dagger up, but that's really all he's got. Just, like, yeah, you've got they're essential for a Magnus, but is it enough? Probably not. And now Ollie as well, he'll go for a Midas. That's an interesting choice to say the least, especially considering they are relatively behind right now on IG in terms of their. You feel like
on
that's a
Phoenix
decent pick up, or
on a Phoenix, I wouldn't really be too mad if Phoenix went for 20-minute Midas, especially as a support. It's acceptable. It's probably not the best thing, but when you really need the XP, I wouldn't blame you as a Phoenix.
Why? Gotta try and solo the Benny. He still has the Omni Slash behind you. He will use up all this for a Rubik. He is still Omni Slashing as we speak, but again, he attacks so damn slow. Where's the rest of his team, and how the hell is FY still alive throughout all this?
What?
He's making a run for a dogfight. Ends up going down. FY finally ends up falling with the Chain Frost. Down the egg as well. They've got to burst it down, and they will go for it immediately. Now the Omni Slash comes in. The RP as well last. He set it up for his teammates, although is it enough? They will end up finding Arme. It looks like the Lone Druid as well. Although FY, he stole the RP, and he'll get 3 of them as well. But there's no follow-up for it. The Lone Druid still making a run for it though. Can he survive? He tries to fear. Apparently it's enough. Now the Frost Shield coming in clutch again on that bear. And the Root as well as the last. He should just end up falling here surely. FY is back in the team fight throughout all this. He does end up getting the final right ticket for last. Now the lift onto Emo as well. The X-Boat coming in. FY. He does steal the boat himself, but he doesn't throw it out of time. In fact, no, he does. But it won't connect with anybody. The Lone Druid, he should end up falling, but that Frost Shield again almost saves him, but not quite. And X-Nova ends up losing his own life. But what a team fight we saw, John. But IG certainly came out on top pretty hard. And, well, they made at least 3.5k gold out of that. Now, what the hell's Chalice doing back in?
I think he wanted to go for a pickoff, but not with that many heroes around. Although,
Arme playing the pop slot. 3 spawns go straight for the opposing team. Manta is up on Doodle. Whew, that'll be it. But that net worth, I mean, we'll bring up the net worth graph, and it hasn't quite updated yet, but it's about to be right in the middle there. LGD, they've lost all that net worth advantage, and it still does feel like IG have probably a much stronger late with their draft.
It definitely feels that way. Again, all these heroes stay relevant as the game goes on. Your Magnus, they just have so much control that can't be blocked out, Mike. You can't block out the RP. You can't block out the Supernova stun once it does go through. So you do have to watch out when you're LGD as the game switches more and more into teamfights. IG's lineup is just basically built for teamfights. I feel like LGD definitely needs to step up their game in solo pickoffs right now. I feel like they have not maximized this track as much as they should have. They've got a bunch of good track kills. I feel like they need more. They really need to maximize this pickup on Chalice. Just snowball with Bounty Hunter and the Slark. Get the gold going on them, and then get them big enough that you don't really need to worry too much.
Both teams just scouting out the road, but they will find Chalice. The boat coming in though, the Yules will save him. Now lift back as well. They want to go after Emo. Oh, and why? He stole the boat again. He will find it, although no BKB comes out of Emo, but at the very least they could probably just back off. In fact, he misses the X-Torrent combo. With that, Emo, was that a 10-second charge? Yes, it was. Just wasted to try and get out of there. Chalice still feels pretty comfortable to go in, and now last, they missed the pounce on him. They're still going after Chalice, so the Yules comes in. Now DotaBoy's trapped in the tree line. He will get the overgrowth off, but look at the damage coming out of that LD. The Ed comes out, but it doesn't matter. RP is there to try and help out. Ed's still alive throughout all this, but it will finally go down. Doodle now in the middle of all this. RP again. FY stolen, and he gets tooled. And where's the damage? There it is. Arme comes in. Boat again coming out. I don't even know from where. It's from Emo, but he's still dead throughout all this. 4 down. The only man to survive is Doodle, and he just goes back home with his tail between his legs. It's just... The problem is, Josh, when you have a big player, he steals your abilities like that throughout a team fight. Basically, he can become the better team fighter.
That is one of the strengths of the Rubik, and this is a pretty good Rubik game, you know, Mike, as we mentioned in the draft. Just so many spells to work with, and FY has stolen all the spells he needs every single time. The RP always comes out, the Boat Steal comes out, the Omni Slash comes out to buy some more time. He is definitely, you know, at this point you should really watch out for this second phase Rubik pick from LGD. You should always expect it when you're drafting a pretty big teamfight composition. It's just always going to be an option for LGD.
Yeah, I think IG thought the Bounty Hunter wasn't going to play core. They were just going to make it a position roaming bounty as the big. Look, the thing is, it's not like he's done an amazing job as a core bounty hunter, but he really did force people to have no gold for the first half of the game. Like, he's still trying to catch up from this, and he finally has gotten to that point, but he's still a few K net worth behind. And Chalice is still being pretty excruciatingly annoying. Just seems to not die very often throughout this fight.
Yeah, it's really hard to catch and really hard to burst these heroes down. You know, especially when FY gets that boat buff, it's just hard in these sustained fights for IG if they don't get their combos right. They really have to stagger their spells properly. They, you know, in order for the Juggernaut to hopefully get a kill and really bounce back. It's just not been happening recently.
An Ollie. Chris finds, but Ahmed was waiting. With those fire spirits, you can get slightly, but Ahmed will find you. Emo doesn't know what to do. At a hill down. Looks like that bot lane down. Coming in LGD. The ones that pin that T2 tower. What will they find? But he's currently within that guys. But be able to find him, and he runs through the tree line. Fine. At the very least, they force out a rotation from LGD, and they stop the potential of its tier 3 tower being pushed down at that top lane. But now you've got to be concerned that, you know, LGD is probably going to start looking for your heroes again to pick off. Arme just picks up a brand new PKB for himself, so now you've got a 10-second BKB charge to worry about as well.
Damage.
If it was hard to kill Ame before, it's definitely much harder now. You really can't lock him down anymore. You're gonna have to expend the RP, and when you do, you know, you have to guarantee Ame's in it, which usually isn't the case. Ame usually waits until the team fight breaks out first and then comes in.
Any good slack, no. Any good slack. And Ame, he's found the damage. He does run past people, but he wasn't. It looks like he actually wants another one, but the split is there on the jump check. maybe able to spin his way out. He did end up getting only the backlines down to the roof, not getting RP is there. On his as well, on two of them, and it's a lot of damage, but not enough fight yet. Chalice is still alive around all that, as well as Luminous. Found the off the F5, he found three of them, and they're gonna rip them apart here, Don. They've got no way of surviving this. Emo is trying to back out of there, but he is surrounded, and he will go down. We want me to say that. It's F1 to Rubik. Doing F1 to Rubik King.
That must have been the second or third RP he's stolen. Overall, maybe the 7th ultimate he's stolen this game. And he's done so much work just in this game, Mike. And, you know, IG taps out. I would have, after a performance like that, LGD, you know, IG played as well as they could. I definitely did try to play around their cooldowns. And for a while, they were